Alright, good afternoon everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this beautiful stream. We're discussing about creating a simple wallet with ExpressJS. And I know we have a lot of friends, we have a lot of programmers that may be coming from other stack. Precisely, I know someone of C#, someone from the C# stack. I know someone from the I think Java. I had a conversation with someone from Java, and I also had a conversation with someone from no background. So this is going to be a very tough one, but in between, I'm sure that we are going to achieve something. So I'd just like us to stay for like I think a minute, then we'll just possibly get started immediately. So just get your PC ready, get your water, get every arsenal you will need. We are going to make magic. Alright, good afternoon, okay. Alright, good afternoon. If you're coming from the Coder Night platform, I want to welcome you all. If you're coming from YouTube directly, I want to welcome you all. I would like to see your messages in chat. How do I see this now? Let's see. So if you have any message, any form of information, the live chat is there, and the Coder Nights group as well should be in the description. If it's not, please let me know so I could fix it in, because this is gonna be an interesting ride. All right. Okay. Alright, so I'm trying to find the chat room. Let's see. Alright. Okay. Alright, so let's dive in as fast as possible. Where do I go? Syncs. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to take this and resize this a bit. Okay, fantastic. Alright, all good. Okay, so creating a virtual wallet with ExpressJS is the task that we are going to do in less than 2 hours. Okay, alright, so that's fine. Okay, so we have various technologies that can implement this for us, but I'm choosing to use TypeScript, Express for our backend, Prisma for our ORM, and Postgres for our persistency for data storage. Alright. Okay, so the first part is what is a virtual wallet for our outline. Next is the use case for our virtual wallet, technologies and requirements. Who is this for? Entity diagram. We have our project setup, then the to-do, which will actually guide us through the entire process of making this come to be. Then what's next? How do we take this project from where it currently is to where it ought to be? All right. Okay, so the question is asked, what is a virtual wallet? What is a virtual wallet? This is a non physical currency storage that can be used to keep money and possibly use it as a form of legal tender in exchange. That is just basically what a wallet is. I'm just going to move this up so it doesn't ruin the aesthetics of my presentation. Okay. Alright. So that is just basically what a wallet is. And the next slide will dive into use cases where wallets can be used. Okay, so one, we have Alibaba, and Banggood and AliExpress. All these are like e-commerce websites. So let me just throw some more explanation into it. So basically, what the e-wallet is trying to simulate is a form of storage. The concept of currency is what was it called? Currency is invisible. Yeah. So that's kind of it. So we have a means of exchanging goods and services, which was either gold in the then days. Then we now had currencies, actually the money, that's the naira, the dollar, the pound, Australian dollar, etc., the yen and all that. So that was where we were. Then the next part of exchange, before that, that's actually before Tilabata. So the next part of exchange is the part where money is no longer visible to the eyes. So you give us the hard currency or the gold or whatever it is, then we'll take that and actually present it in the form of a way that, okay, you could actually backtrace and say, okay, that's my stuff. I gave you one gold, and the next time we'll look at your ledger or whatever is the medium of storage, you see that one gold is equal to something. So that's kind of the idea. It's a little rough, but as we get by, we understand. So e-commerce is one of the mediums of making use of an e-wallet. So you could actually get money from your bank, okay, transfer that money to the e-wallet. Let's use Banggood as a case study. So you could transfer that money directly into the wallet, and it will kind of represent a form of token or legal tender. So if I put in, let's say, $5, okay, it will equate $5. Possibly the platform or the e-commerce site may be like, okay, instead of $5, okay, would convert it to some form of coin or something. So that's kind of the rough explanation. There may be misfires in between, but please bear with me. But that is actually the idea of a virtual wallet in this case. All right, so let's move back to slide. All right, so I will be your host. My name is Mebaka. I'm a software engineer with a couple of years of experience. Worked with several companies, delivered several products, and still delivering till this very time. So the idea of having this stream is they have all of this everywhere. Okay, people could do stuff like this, but the idea of having a virtual wallet is, okay, let's just use this to learn how to make use of SQL, because I have a couple of friends that are like, okay, I've been using NoSQL in the Express ecosystem, but I want to dive into SQL, and that's kind of like the idea of having all of this. And also this stream is backed by a community to enable us expand our reach, expand our learning capacity, and also be more productive and learn new hacks and tips and best practices available now in the industry. So that's hence why we have this stream. So the next question is this for you. All right, so there are just some notes I want us to get here. The first is someone with an understanding of programming. Okay, so that's the first step. You need to have an understanding of programming. Have the aim will be defeated. Someone is trying to get to the stream. I think should provide a link. All right. So just a moment. Okay, let's see. Okay. I just have to put that here as well. I guess my assistant is also part of the live stream. Okay, so moving on. So the next part is how you should have used Express for over 6 months minimum. It might be an overkill, but if you're a whiz, I'm sure most of my streamers are very intelligent people. So the 6 months might be an overkill, but at least you can really like at least have in hands-on experience with at least, let's say, 3-6 months, 4 months rather. So the next is understanding SQL. Just simple SQL. It's not really like a very big deal. Just basic SQL. I think that would do. Although we might not be, we will not be using SQL, but at least there are some basic rudiments that we need to understand. All right. Okay, so the technologies that we'll be using is JavaScript, but in this case we'll be using TypeScript because we had a poll and over 11 plus voted for TypeScript over JavaScript, and that's what we'll be using. So next is the backend technology that we'll be using is Node, and that will be precisely Express. Express is the framework that we'll be using with Node. ExpressJS is what we'll be using. Then for our ORM, it's just basically a wrapper that enables us. ORM is just a wrapper that enables us go from programming language, I think extend programming language to another programming language. So just break that down. So let's say, for example, you're writing, you're communicating with your database, and your database will require you to definitely make use of SQL. But what the ORM does is that it sits on the SQL, but enables you make use of your native programming languages like Go, C++, Java, as the case may be. So instead of understanding SQL, all you just need to do is understand the specific programming language to a large extent. Then from that programming language, you could read the documentation on how to interact with SQL. That makes sense? Yeah. If it doesn't, please let me know in chat and I would like to take that up. Okay, so Prisma has a lot of moving parts, semi-moving parts, over criticized for a long period of time. But I choose to use ORM for specific reasons I will disclose as we progress. But I will just give a hint. You know, we have the SQL and the NoSQL database configuration architecture, as the case may be. So Prisma enables you to be able to communicate with both database types. All right. But the main idea is to make use of the syntax and just basically get something done. Then over time you could detach some of the Prisma code and replace that with SQL, because it's been observed that you need to write programs as fast as possible. Then once optimized programs, rather, it has to be optimized, so you write them very well. Then when you move over to production and you have more users, the ORM tends to slow down the query at some point, so you detach them for some specific routes and then replace them with raw SQL over time. So that's kind of what we will likely structure so that we can achieve, we won't get to do the SQL directly here, but from the Prisma ORM we'll create a form of structure that it will be easy for us to remove the Prisma and replace that with raw SQL. So that's noted. And then definitely Postgres, that's the database, because it contains a lot of advantages over other SQL database. For one, it's full text search. It's really incredible, and that's why we'll be using this, because newer companies tend to make use of the great cockroach called Postgres, and the real cockroach actually. So that's what we'll be using here. Prisma, Postgres. All right. So yeah, other requirements. I stated ngrok. I stated Postman, page stack account. Definitely is a must-have, and you need water because I got my here. I got my water here. How do I turn this on? Yeah, I have my water here. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that water, and definitely patience, because as we progress there could be times where I could be a little fast, or you just need to just draw my attention so that we can work harmoniously. All right, so what's next on the slide? Just need to cut that off. All right, so I think we need to proceed to our to-do. All right, so where do I go from here? And yes, so these are to do. Let's see if I could increase this for the eye pleasing. Okay, so the first step is to set up our database. So I talked about Postgres for our persistency. It's really important that we set that up. All right, we set that up. There are various ways that we could get this done. And that's getting I know I stated this in the Coder Nights group. I stated, let's see, good. So I stated it there that we need our database up and running. So you could have that installed on your system, or you if you don't want that, you can make use of Neon. Just go to neon.com. I think I have it signed up. Where do I go? Yeah, bam, drag. Okay. All right. So this is it. So you just go to Neon, sign in. If you have an account. If you don't, just basically sign up. That's just it. I think that with this free database, this Neon free database, it will be very easy. It will be very easy for the Postgres ecosystem to thrive and grow. Because why it hasn't grown exponentially compared to the NoSQL, precisely MongoDB, is because of the unavailability of free tier. But now that this free tier is available now with this Neon, definitely you could host your server anywhere and get good service out of them. Then possibly in the near future you can proceed to paying to get much more optimized speed and all that. Okay, so you need that setup. Just basically, if you have an account with them, you could just, I do have this for a startup, and okay, so once you come here, just need to click it. So you click new project, set up the project. I think I should just sign up so that you could see that row. So go to sign in. Okay, I think they've detected my session is still active. Now how do I sign out now? Okay. Okay, so let me use my other Google account to sign in. And this is it. Yeah, there. Okay, I have another one here as well. This is crazy. Let's see if I could delete it because I haven't used this database. Okay. I can't can't actually. Can't. Okay, so I can't really delete it per se, but just if you're new, yeah, definitely this will be blank. You just come click new project and just create a project. It's a very simple prompt. I don't think I can. Okay, yes, there's a delete here. So I'll just remove this. So everything is brand new. Good. Let's see, branching. So good. So this is the last one. SQL editor. You could come here and click create your first project. Give it a name. Central Bank. Alright, version 15 is fine, 16 is still fine, but let's do 15 for now. Then create, then once it's created, you get a URL. Right, so with that URL, that's basically all. Now we'll make use of this as we progress. So that is our first task, setting up DB. So I think we automatically have a DB. It automatically created a user and permissions. I think it may have come with that, but let's see. Okay, we have a DB name called NeonDB. We have okay, that's not really important. This is the user. So the username, password, the URL, and all that stuff. Alright then. So the next thing for us to do is to set up our code base. So let's do that now. So like I said, I have VS Code here. By accident. And save that. Okay. So let's open VS Code. That's open. I'll just need a new window over here. Alright, so just turn this image. Good. Alright, so that's it. So let's set up our folders where we're going to store all of this file right here. And I will just do something like this. Open folder, then I'll come to documents. I think that's fine. So your document, your operating system might present this window differently, but simply just create a folder and call this central save. Just any name that you want to call your project, that's fine. Once you create it, it should open the folder where it should open the folder that was just created, and you just need to click open, and VS Code will take it from there. So let me get okay, I guess we are back now. So let's take this out of the way. Okay, so if you can hear me, very clearly, please, I'd like you to indicate in chat. If you can hear me clearly, indicate in chat. Okay, I can see some messages here. Cheers. Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Daniel. Larry from C#.NET Framework here. Larry Bloom, you're welcome. This is safe space for us all. Okay, kindly record the sections. Okay, definitely, Daniel, this will be on YouTube for you to look at it probably later. I won't be taking it down, and I think my musics are all copyrighted to me, so definitely there will be nothing affecting the stream. So just be rest assured. Okay, so 3 months. Yeah, so John code 3 months, it's fine. 3 months, it's fine. 3 months, it's fine. Even if it's 1 month, provided you really understand the basics of JavaScript. Okay, Toby, I see you. You're welcome. Okoro Namdi, you're welcome. You prefer, why would you choose Postgres over MySQL? So here's the thing. Postgres is pretty advanced. Like I stated, the full text search is something that no other database currently have. The full text search is very unique. Okay, very unique, and I give that to Postgres. There are so many other things, special database. I know I worked on a project. Called Sabi. I think that's it. So Sabi is a project that will help individuals locate businesses, and Postgres is really good for things like that because of its special database storage capability, and that's just few of the basics of why I prefer Postgres to MySQL. However, the preference matters, and I don't really recommend just jumping into things like that. You need to do your own research. Okay, Larry says I should increase it. Okay, so I've done that. This is fonts finish, is all over in my face. So I hope this is okay. Okay, so we have initiated the project, so we are going to move very fast. Very fast. This is where that 6 months JS experience comes in. But however, I will try my best to slow it down. Let's stay within the 2 hour threshold. So you just need to init. Just simply run this command npm init-y, and that will be fine. So Express is needed. Joy will be needed for verifying body of data passed inside of the APIs and all that stuff. So where am I? Let's bring my notes, because what will I do without it? So the env will help us with our environment variables. So there are things we should store, and be available to our code, but they shouldn't be available to our code base. So that's why we're making use of .env, because we might need a way to store them inside the file and see how we can be able to grab them inside of our web app. So that's where .env comes into play. So where am I going next? I need node mailer, because definitely we might be sending things to emails, because that's our primary means of verifying users. We'll basically be using emails and all that stuff. So that's it. There's another thing I want to install. Let's see. So I haven't installed. So let's go here. Yes. So Prisma client, very important, because that will be what will be the layer for our communication from our JavaScript to Postgres. There are middlewares in between. I think there's a Rust library that goes from the JavaScript side of things to the SQL. I think I might be wrong. Someone put that in chat and let me know. Okay, so that's where I'm going to, that's where this guy comes in, is the entire meet. So I'll just press enter, and just for sanity's sake, I don't know, I'll just throw this inside of the Codenite strong room, because I think that's the ideal place where we should be having codes that wouldn't persist for a long period of time. So if you have any issue, you might want to put it there as well. And any issue, if you want to send a voice note, that's fine, because we could play it over the stream and everyone could hear, and we could see how we could be able to get your solution up and running. Okay, so that is installing. So So I might need to take this out. I might need to take this out from my VS Code terminal, because lately the terminal has been buggy. So if the issue persists, I will just install that directly on my Linux terminal. I think it's working. Okay, good. So no vulnerability. That's beautiful. No vulnerability, everything is fine, installed, and I think the latest version. So if I come into the package.json, you're gonna see those dependencies installed. env, express. So that's all of them right there, installed in all of its glory. So next thing we need to install are dev dependencies. Now the advantage of TypeScript over vanilla JavaScript is the dependencies, the dev dependencies. Now in JavaScript, you could install these guys as dev dependencies, as dev dependencies, but when you push them to production, the so-called dev dependencies are still coupled with your application because it was written in vanilla JavaScript. But here with TypeScript, once you make it a dev dependency, alright, once it's a dev dependency, all you have to do now is once you push the app, once like you what's it called, like you push it to production, it won't install these guys together with the package for production. So you're just pushing the dev dependencies and the actual dependencies you need for production, and this ones for development will not be packaged with it. So that's one good thing about it. So I will just go through them one by one. One are types for Express. Next one is types for Node. I think NodeMon. Yeah. So NodeMon. What NodeMon does is helps us refresh our app. So immediately, let's say for example, you save something in a particular file. All you need is just for it to refresh. I think there's a newer way for version 18 Node, and that one. So maybe I will look into that. Then Prisma CLI definitely. Then TypeScript, then TS Node. Okay, so just press enter and let that cook. So I'm just gonna paste that inside of the strong room as well. So you just need to copy that and voila, make your installation come true. So I want to assume why this is going up in the background. I want to assume that you have a Paystack account, you have an Ngrok account, and you have Postman installed on your system and ready to go. So while we wait for that to install, okay, that should be done anytime soon. Alright, so let's see. I know I think someone posted a message on the Codenite group about a JavaScript code structure. He wrote it, I think it's a blog about it. So most of, or all of, I think most of it. So most of the solution which he presented will be what we will be adopting for the stream. Okay, so that's done. I just need to copy the link. Alright, you're welcome. That's so I'm just gonna paste this here. Alright, so this is write up comprehensive guide for folder structure on node application. And you can go look at this, and this will be, I think, available on my references for this project. You can go look it up. So I just basically open this. So we have our configs, our controllers, our errors, middleware, models, routes, services, utilities. So we might be modeling our projects around us. So let's say controllers are things that are responsible for actions from or for a particular endpoint. So let's say you're going to the login route, okay, whatever mechanism or whatever code structure that will be responsible for finding the user's detail, going to this place, checking the passwords and all that stuff. So all that will be mumbled inside of the controller. We'll put them inside individual files. The controller folder will be inside, the individual files will be inside the controller folder. Errors are basically just errors that we want to handle. I might be, will I say, agnostic about this approach, but however, we'll see how that goes. Then we have our middleware, things that operate before another thing. So let's say, for example, you want to move you want to like get from here to let's say UK. I mean Nigeria. So from Nigeria to UK, this is a very weird analogy, but that's what middleware does. Like if you're to get from here to UK, you don't just disappear. Whatever is responsible for taking you from that particular place to somewhere else can be referred to as a middleware. That could be a train, airplane, or whatever it is. But in layman terms, or let's bring that to coding, as the case may be. So middleware are like, things that happen before a particular action, or things that may encourage a certain action to be successful. Those are what we refer to as middleware. Let's say, for example, you want to like access a route that shows you all your details, and the middleware case study will be something like, hey, who are you? Are you like worthy of going in here? That's what like the middleman is. So that's what the middleware that's what the middleware is. So what the middleware does is like, hey, I want to be sure who you are, and if you're not the person, we throw you out. If you're the person, you come in and have a good time with us. So that's the concept of middleware. Models are like database configs, things that tie to your database, routes, and all that. So I think I've taken too much time. I think this he sent his what's his name? He dropped this. Okay, why can I find that stuff? Okay. So he dropped this Twitter handle, which is Xcoder. So that's it right here. I think this is it, somewhere around Twitter. I think it's so. This is Xcoder03. Go check it out. He has good stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the code because we are far-fetched. Next thing we need to do on our notes is just need to push off. Next thing we need to do is folder creation. So let's just do this. For my operating system, it's pretty easy. Just to make directory. I think for Windows there might be a certain command for that. And let's see. CMD for making directory. I think there might be a very simple command. I just want us to be as fast as possible. It's mdr. I think okay, for command line it might be still make dir. Okay, make directory. So let's do that. Make dir for Unix. That's the same thing. So we need our controllers folder, we need our models folder, we need our routes, definitely, we need our what else, where controller routes, model, and let's just come right back here. I think I may have, okay. Services might not be needed. Middlewares, yes. Middlewares, and bam. So we have all of that folder here. So I hope I don't push this node models to production. Someone help me, remind me so I don't do that. Okay, so now we have that set up. So next thing we need to do is set our configuration for TypeScript. And I think that npm tsx init tsxt. Gosh, I saw this coming. Okay, type script setup for Express. So I think this should just be a quick document for that. That's all. This is more newer. Okay, I choose Greeks to this guys. So you do your init, we've done that, we've installed this, so the dependencies, express types, and I think we need to create this folder, but I don't want to do that. But however, let's proceed with that for now. So we need this folder tsconfig.json here. So just right click, tsconfig.json, and paste that file. So I'll just put this in the strong room as well. Okay. Alright, there should be a shortcut. So while that is cooking, I'll just check another block. Because what the hell? npm init, we've done that. We install ts. Yes, here we go. This is the command I was looking for. tsc. What was I typing? Let's see. tsc. Wait a minute. Wasn't that what I just typed? So it's npx. So that's why it didn't work, because I used npm. It's supposed to be x. So if we do that, there will be a lot of stuff. I think we should just do that instead. Might override this one here with more stuffs. One error found. nps. So that's okay. I hope this doesn't backfire. npx tsc init. Let's check. Okay, so this is a dash I. So double dash init, bingo. So this is it here. It's still the same thing with what I shared. Still the same thing. There just might be some few things we need to configure. There's some few things. I just want to show you how it's done, not just how to like get the hardware and all the stuff. So output directory is one that we should take serious, and we should just give it, let's say, build, because when we build our files, it will go inside of a folder called build, and that will be available here. The next one we need to set I think root path. So root path will be inside of a folder which doesn't exist for now. We'll call that as that source. So root directory for our tx files, everything will be there. So that's just basically it. So just for recap, output directory and we build should be inside of the build, and our root directory should be src, and aside that everything is fine. So I'll just create. So this is like the hard fast way of creating like, let's say, a file inside a folder at the same time. So what I'll just do is right click, new file, and I'll do src because that's the folder I want to create. But I need an index.txt file inside that folder, and I don't have any of that, so I can just do it like this, index.ts. So press enter, we have that folder and that file at the same time. So this is where all of our basic things will be here inside of it. So come to package.json, and we need to set up our script. Okay, we need to set up our script. The first one for development we'll start with is the dev. Alright, so what's going to be inside of the dev? We are going to make use of nodemon. Brilliant. Nodemon should go to the src folder and look for the index.txt file. Put the comma like that. That's it. So go inside of this folder and go inside of this folder, the src, and run that file. And the next part will be our what's it called? The next one will be our build. Okay, so to build our files or our TypeScript project, what we're doing is npx txc. I think that's build. Let me be very sure of that. Where is it? Okay, so it's npx tsc. Yeah, so that's it. Alright, so we could just test that out now by doing npm run build, just for sanity reasons, so that we could be sure everything is working as it ought to. We should have that build folder. Okay, so it didn't work. I think I may have misconfigured the build folder output directory. Let's see, output directory. Okay, so that should be a dot // so save that, delete this guy here, and also this guy should be dot / as well, because it's passing directly inside here. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Let's see, we still have that error with directory src. Okay, I think that was the issue, not even the build thing. So let's try that again. Yes, so now we have our build file with our TypeScript here. You can see the use strict. Just delete this. Let's try this again. So just do a simple console.log hello wallets, and that's supposed to be a double L. So run the build again, just for testing sake. Let's check the live chat to see if there's anyone. Okay, no questions for now. So that's the build is complete, and you can see here hello wallets. Okay, so everything is working fine. Alright, so let's set up Prisma. Let's set up Prisma. Let's set up Prisma real quick. I think so. The command is npx Prisma init. Yes. So what that would do is that will create a folder here, like so. I'll create a folder and put in the provider. Basically, I don't really know much about that stuff. Might dig deep into the documentation for actually what this provider does, but I think it's like the layer that goes from the particular language to the Rust engine, most likely. Then we have our provider, precise provider for DB, which is Postgres by default, and that's why I recommend it. Then we have our env, okay, pointing to the URL for our database, okay, and that is it right here. So by default, all of this was created by Prisma. You don't need to write anything, just do the command npx init. I'll show this also in the coordinate group as well. Okay, so you guys are really having fun here. All right, we'll be on YouTube. All right, you guys should be serious. Okay, I would like you to not go into tutorial hell. If I think that this will be a lovely experience for you to actually code, learn, and get things done and have questions answered, because that's kind of like the idea of having all of this. So once you do the npm init, it will create this folder. I just deleted all of that stuff in the env because it's not really needed for me right now. The next thing I need to do is set up our database. So let's go to our notes. So I think that's set up Prisma model. So I came up with something here. Just throw this over here, drag and drop. So I came up with something that might be of a little let's see, a little spice of variety added to it, So the idea is to have a simple wallet that you can transfer from one person to another person. So that's kind of like the idea. Very, very simple. So to get a little fetch for time, so we need to move very, very fast. And this is our user model. Comes with the first name, last name, email, public ID, created. I think I need to change this to created on when the user was created. By default, this will be so this will be a date time that will be automatically prefixed, and that's it. Then the next database table in this case will be wallets. Wallets will have a foreign key relationship to this user table, and this is a one to one. I think I need to change this. So this is a one to one, like so. Yeah. So this is a one to one. I'm sorry, it got broken. I was trying to adjust it, but this is a one-to-one relationship. Some of you may ask, why don't we just join the two of them together? Well, there are some things that may not really be necessary to on the other table, so it's just good to just separate them and create some form of abstraction. Let this do a certain thing and we query it very, very, very often, and the other ones won't be so critical. So you may need just the wallet, and you shouldn't be going to the user table to get data every time. Just simply have the user reference and simply go to the wallet. Next is the profile, just extended functionalities of the profile, which is if the account is verified, if OTP was sent there, we go there, check and see that OTP of the user, and we verify that user because of the OTP was queried. The next of kin, okay, just first name, last name, address, simple, no deload. And this is actually a foreign key pointing to the user table. Next of kin is also there. I think I've gone through that. Transaction. So basically we have several transactions for our e-wallets, gateway, paystack, flutterwave, and this is what I call EJS wallet. Basically this will be like an internal enum type for our transaction table. Alright, the reference ID, I guess maybe where it's coming from, created. So this will be created on, yeah, simple. Notification, very simple stuff. User ID, wallet, transaction ID, description, and when the notification was created. Yeah, this is an overkill, but it will make sense as we progress. Alright, so let's move as fast as we can. Alright, so let's build this schema real quick. So the first one we have is the user. Now the conventional way for Prisma on what's it called? Prisma on JavaScript is usually camel case, but I don't really keen to that philosophy because SQL needs to have its best practice acknowledged. So this is what convention states. So let's say you want to do for the user, this is how you do it, and the user will have an ID which will be an integer, and that integer will have something like this, which would be the actual which will be the actual reference on the database, and you do the actual value on the database, and you set a default will be of auto. This needs to be an art here, so auto increment, but this makes a lot of sense, but I don't like this. So what I would do is I would write it like this. Cause SQL might be a little crazy when it comes to querying, and you have the scammer case. It's a JavaScript thing, and they get a lot of backlash, but we need to respect SQL and give it the desired form of writing table names best practice. Okay, so with that out of the way, I would like to put this side by side. So we have our we have our first name, last name. Let's quickly do that. Can I think I can take this back to my other screen. Alright, so let's go first name, I think at first name, and I think that should be like that should be like a string. Yeah, first name should be a string, and I think I can do that. Let's see, first okay, I don't think that works here. Alright, so let's move on. First name, just copy this quickly, and we'll do last name, and then we'll copy this and change this to email. This is a string. I think we need to make it unique. Okay, I need to make it unique. Then we'll have a public I think this should also be unique. A public ID as well. Public ID. This ID will be like the ID used to check a particular user up, and this will be very unique. And then we have our created on, and this will be date time. Voila. So we have our user model done. Happy. And we'll just move up to the next one, which is the wallet itself. I'll just copy this for time's sake, change this to wallet, and I'll leave the ID there, and I'll leave, okay, I think so many of these things have to go. The next one should be balance. This is an integer. Just change all of this, guys. Yeah. So integer for balance, integer for account number. That's it. So right there. Then we have our pin. I think that's it. Then the reference to the actual wallet will be wallet. No, that's user. Will be user ID. User ID. Okay, so there's a way out. Let's see. Let's see, how do we and let's see, relationship. So there's a way to create a one-to-one relationship. Yeah, my system wants to give up on me. So there's a way out for a one-to-one relationship. Just want to look that up. So I think I haven't explained this. Okay, so it's very, very simple. What we are saying here is the default of this ID should auto increment. Okay, all right. Okay, so for our user ID, I think that's at relationship. Yes. So a relationship, you do fields, and then you do user ID. I think that's no, what I want is what I want isn't a reference. What I want isn't a reference, but what I want is the actual ID, and that should be unique. Brilliant. So this is pointing to this, but we need a reference. Okay, so I'll just do user is equal to user, like so, and add relationship, should be fields, and the field should actually be the user ID we have here, and the reference should point to this guy here, which is ID. So we have red squiggly lines. Where do we go from here? Okay, validating fields, so user model in wallet. Come on, the relationship field is either a Prisma format. Let's see, maybe this is my stubbornness. What was the problem? Let's close this. So it wasn't, but user ID is working fine. Fields, references, ID. Where did I get it wrong? Okay, so for some of us that may not be having this syntax highlighting thingy, I think there's Prisma. So you just need to get this installed. Just type Prisma and have that installed. Okay, back to our blog. Okay, user ref. Error validating fields user in model. Come on, the relationship field user. So I think what we need to do is actually have some form. Wait a minute, let's see. So if I change, no, I think I'm missing the point. Okay, so let's leave the reference for now. I'll deal with that later. There's not time on our side right now. It's not time. Okay, so the next we'll have is our profile. And this will just take in a boolean. This will auto increment as well, and this will take in a verified. Verified will be a boolean. Verify is either you're verified or not. And at default, I think should be false. Yes, that makes sense, because anyone coming in will be not verified. So we have an OTP. This is OTP, not whatever that was. So this will be an int, and the default will be not auto increment. I think I'll just leave it like that. So the default might be null. Yeah. Yes. And there's pin. I think I'm missing something here. I can't remember that, but I think my schema is complete. So the next part is our next of king. It's almost similar to this guy right here. But yes, reference. God, I knew it. Something wasn't right. So set our user ID reference here. We'll look into why that reference thing was throwing up that error. If anyone could find that out, leave that in the chat for my lazy behind. Okay, transaction. No, that's next of king. So that's next of king. Okay. We have first name, last name. We need something to contact the person, so email is fine. Address can suffice, but that shouldn't be unique, and this also shouldn't be unique as well. And we could take this out. Then the next one is transaction. Let's see. Okay, so I spotted why that reference thing wasn't working was because there was actually no reference to the primary fields. Well, we'll fix that up later. Okay, where am I? So let's see. Yeah, transaction. Brilliant. So we do transactions, and then we'll have a reference ID, reference ID. This is supposed to be a string. That makes sense. Then I will need that created on here. Created on goes in here, and we'll have I think reference ID. That's fine. Reference ID works. So what are we putting here? We do gateway. I'll just do payment gateway. Payment gateway. Alright, so that's fine. This and this, all of this stuff right here. So let's do a reference. Okay, so we'll start with this guy right here. Do user. So the user will be the actual user, and at the relationship, the fields should be the user ID, and the reference should be ID. Now what we need to do here is actually link that reference to this guy here by saying, just put a comment here. Yeah, I'll just call this other references. Then I'll say wallet is linking to wallet, and with that sign. Okay, so what we're saying here is the reference. So this wallet is here, and if we don't do this, we'll keep having that error. So the next part is to repeat the same for profile. Repeat the same for profile. Okay, so I'll just copy this like that, paste it here, and you have user ID. Okay, is also here as well, so I'll just take this out. Then next of king, I'll just copy this like so. Next of king, and I'll say user field, then I'll come here, repeat the same thing. Next of king, just do next of king, and that's happy. No squiddly lines. Transaction, it's the same thing, but this will be quite different. So now here we are doing the same thing, but here we will do it a little differently. I'll just copy this and I'll put this here, transaction, but now in this case this will be an array, because we are having a one-to-one relationship for these guys here, but for this guy it's one-to-many, meaning that one user can have more than one transaction. So that's like kind of the idea. So we save this, and we proceed to making migrations. But before we do, friends, before we do, we need to actually set up our database URL. I know we set up a Neon or whatever database we are using. Okay, so we just go here, and that's a dashboard, database central, whatever you call it, central and whatever. Then copy it like that and put it to replace this entire URL. So let me just explain. This is actually a file pathing thingy, but in this case now it's not referring to a file. It's actually referring to the Postgres. I think that's a CLI path or so. But however, what it's telling you here is I'm going to Postgres. Then Postgres will now understand the rest of it and say, okay, the first part is the name of the username of the particular database you're trying to access, or the username of the particular database. That's this one, and the password goes in here. Then at the location and the port of the I think this is pretty straightforward. If you have any issues understanding that, please let me know in the chat. This is weird looking. Okay, I copied this and it gave me some rubbish. Let's see. Okay, that's better. But you didn't add the schema, although by default it should go to the public, but yeah. Need that question mark. Okay, so that's it. Now that everything is done, what we need to do is make this our front end relationship that we've done on Prisma available on our database. And this is how you do it. Just do npx Prisma. I think I'll just do up arrow Prisma. I think that's migrate. Then dev migration. Then I think you specify the name, then you call it whatever you want to call it. I can call it first migration. I just call it init. I think this should work. So the enter keyword, let's see what happens. So this will connect to our database on Neon, and we'll make all of those migrations for us. So what it will do is just simply transform all of this code that we've written here on Prisma to SQL query for our database on Neon. Okay, so you can see here our first migration in it. Now there'll be a folder here called migrations. You can just have a quick peek, but do not touch anything. I'll just explain a bit. So this is what SQL query looks like. Then a couple of like 10 years back, we had the front end, back end, and we had the database guy. So when we began to adapt the full stack methodology, the database guy became the back end guy, and the ORM just made all of this much more easy for us to work with. Alright, so what we're saying here is just create table with this name and all of this guy, just SQL query. So what we are just transpiling is all of those codes we wrote here to SQL query, and we execute them. Now if I press this button right here, what it will do is to try to create the table, but since it's already created, I might run into some errors. I won't be doing that. Okay, so with that done, we could actually go to to our Prisma and we see all of our tables created. We can see our SQL query, our migration query here. You can see it's in all of its beauty. We see our next of king and all of data available with it. Alright, so let's move on and see how we can be able to create our web server to communicate with all of this stuff. So first thing we need to do is import Express like that. Then we'll make an app out of it, and we'll say kill the variable app, and we'll expressy. I think I missed something. So it is X. Should that be Express? Alright, so we do Express, call that function like that. Then we start our app by listening via the method listen. So listen takes in two arguments. First is the actual port that this app will be running on. Then the next argument can be whatever we execute if the app is running successfully. So I'll just put my ports here, 3003. I'll just do 333 just to make it look extra fun. Then I put my callback, see, and do a simple log. Let's see the app as live. I'll just do web server. The web server app is live. And I put in a slam icon, and I just love that world icon. Oh, not this one. Globe, yes. So we'll put in the globe icon, and we'll say the web server app. Let's take out the app. Look. The web app is live. So next we need to actually run the app, and if we run this command like so, it says nodemon not found. I thought we installed you node, or did I type rubbish there? Nodemon. This is it. This should run. Or am I missing something? Let's see. I always have my reference here. I didn't practice any of this, truth be told. So this is me coming out open. Nodemon is installed. Why is it npm nodemon? Oh my good lord, things are happening. So let me just do npm install nodemon. That's a dev dependency. God knows. Maybe no. So this is nodemon. Oof, what is happening? The gods of TypeScript are not happy. Okay, so let's do npm run dev. I really don't know what is cooking. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So I think that should rally with your scripts. This is weird, but nodemon should actually do the thing. Node and src. Let's try. SRC. So this is the weirdest. I haven't really encountered before. Okay, so yeah. So the ECMAScript configuration will not let this work. So let's just roll with that. Let's just roll with this. Maybe later I can give you proper explanation why that didn't work. Okay, so you can see the web server is live. So I know some of you may be wondering how I got those icons. That's the idea of this stream, to give you exclusive leaks. So you do the emoji, yes. So install this guy right here, column hey, oh, column emoji sent, they're under installation. Oh yeah, let's move fast. So first thing I want to do is actually remove this port number from here, because it doesn't really show best practice. So I'll just create a folder here. I'll just create a folder that will be called configs, or just say utils index.ts. utils should be at the root directory. So that's it. And then inside of here I will create my another folder called configs.tx. config, I don't know, configs, it looks very odd. So what will be inside of this configs folder? What will be inside of this, so what will be inside of this config folder will be what will be inside of the config folder will just be configurations from our virtual configs from our virtual environment, configs for database, anything that has to do with path URL. That's where we will stick them in. Okay, so I think I've gone ahead of myself. What I want to do is initialize a repo. Okay, so by default it has added nodemon and it has added env. So if you just do that on GitHub, VS, just init it and that's it. So I'll just put this as, I shouldn't make that an empty message, so let's close this. So I'll do first commit and save that. So I think it's best we just make our commits as we progress. Alright, so with that being said, let's set up our ports. I would like to use that port here in our environment variables, and that will be 333. Yeah. So let's grab that port inside of our configs like so. Here's how we'll do that. So we just do const equals to port. Port is equals to how do we get ports again? Let's see. Port should be process.env. Yeah, process.env dot, I think, ports. Yeah, I think that works. There might be some configurations that we will need to do, but let's see. Where do I go from here? Use. I need to change this to small, remove that S. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so this should be here. So it's the pipe symbol, or say run on port 3000. Okay, that won't screen for us in the future. I trust me, take that. So next thing we need to do is set up an object. I will call that constant is equals to config, and do it like that. Do our ports. I will, just to make it easy, anything that has to do with server should go inside of here like that. So this is more cleaner. So as we get more things that have to do with native configuration to server, path name, let's say you want to store your image at a particular path, everything should like go in here. That's more cleaner. Okay, then next I will export this like this. It's configs. Then inside of my index, save that. Instead of my index.tx, I will do config like that, and I will do exports, or this will be like an object. Why do we have a red squiggly line? Let's see. It's not under the root directory. Aha. So this should be inside of source. Yes, exactly, and that makes sense. This should be inside of source. Yes, good. Yeah, I think all of this should be inside of the source directory. What was I thinking? So let's move. How do I move? Okay, so I'll just select them like that. No, no more to stay there. This one, all of them should be inside of the source directory. Now this is more cleaner. Okay, so with that being said, let's try and log that env. That's inside of configs, inside of our utility .server .port. This is weird, but trust me, it gets better. So here you have it, 333 console logged. Okay, 333. So what we need to do is remove this from here, replace it with what is here. Then web super is running at so I need to change this. I want to type this inside of it. This is live at this guy, and we do our backticks like so. So let's see. Okay, so I need to take that logs out. Alright, so let me go to the chat and let's see. When will I have the same programming skills? Alright, definitely with time. I'm sure you might even be a senior. all these devs. Let us breathe. But anyway, I think that's menu. That's a very unique name. Menu, you're welcome. Okay, so that's it. Let's see how we can be able to fast track some of this stuff. So the first thing we need to work on is our authentication, right? Authentication. So let's set up the controllers index.t. Okay, so I'll call this account. You can call it auth, but I'm calling it account. Okay, I think I should call. I'll call it auth. I'll call it account. There's a reason why I want to refer to it as account. Okay, or better still. So the account, what the account will hold? The account will hold creation of users, updating of users. I think, yeah, creation of users, and yeah, I think that suffices. I'm kind of confused, but let's proceed. All right. So first thing we need to do is where am I? Yeah, I should be looking at my browser. Okay, so let's be very sure our database is working. Let's go to utils, config. Let's get our database URL. There's a reason why. Database. Let's compare URL and do it like so. Database URL, and we do process.env database URL. Okay, no, sorry, my bad. We do not need that. So now let's do configurations for database rather. db configs db configs So what I want to do is set up something like this. Yeah. And I need to import Prisma. So do constant Prisma is equals to new Prisma client, like that. Yeah. So I'll just call this check DB. So since Prisma is doing everything for us, we don't need that database URL. Let's export this check DB. I will import this here. DB. Nice. Nope. So I need to do that here. Check DB. Comma. Yeah, the Nigerian in me is letting itself out. All right. Okay. So check DB. Let's see. DB configs. Wait, what's happening? Index. So what's the error? I think the import type as so let's export it as default. Export default. Then take this out. Save everything. Let's see. Okay, everyone is happy. So let me just quickly explain what's going on here. So basically what we are doing is we are just checking the version of the database, and if this is able to check it, then it means everything is working fine. Just add a drum. I like that drum. It looks like kind of storage. So first thing we need to do is in our app.tx file, we will import that guy here. Yeah, so it will be here. Now this will bring errors because it's an asynchronous function, but if I import it, if I put the async file and yeah, no, so we just work. I think it should work like so. Okay, so database works fine, but here's the catch, because this I want this to run alongside this. So if this fails, this should fail. I know that Neon occasionally have database downtime because of their free tier, but however, I think this will make a lot of sense. So the server shouldn't be running if error. Let me just see any. The server shouldn't be running if the database is down in any way. So I'll just let me check here. Let's see what our config files in. Okay, it's just throwing the error, and I'll just log the error here. Just log the error message. We are far-fetched for time. This will still not run asynchronously, but if I do the wait, if the database fails, the server fails. So you see now, database checks first, then everything runs. Alright, that's very important, very important. If there's any issue on that part, please do let me know. Alright, Gary Tech, you're welcome. Gary Tech, I might be needing some of those after this stream. Okay, so I'll just put db and then the commit db checker added. That's good. So our commit is set. Let's set up our logins. Let's set up our logins real quick. So I'll do constant. Let's start with creation. So it will be create account. Create account should be equals to this. And there are several things we need here. First is our request. Is what is needed from the backend, or from the client side. What is requested. Then the next is our response. I will put a comma. Then the next is where you're going to. Yeah, in this case, where you're going to. So the several things we will need. The types. Requests. Request is one of them. Request is coming from Express is the types. It's types coming from Express. So this is Express. So this will be request. Then we'll have response. So I'll put them the types here. Request is happy. Response is happy. Then we have the next function. It's a function, and we have its next function. So create accounts. Create accounts will do something for us. What it will do for us is it will grab what is coming from the body. Okay, so we just do a simple response JSON, and we'll grab what's coming from the body. Like that. Okay, so when we run this, so this will go inside of here. I think there's a classic way of exporting this. I'm having issues with my exports. I see. So that database connection is slowing us down slightly. Let's see. Okay, so since I'm exporting them, I think it's okay. I see, inside our account. So there might be no need for this index since I'm exporting them like so. But however, let's go to our routes and we'll create a v1.tx like that. And what we need is to set up our route here. So that will be inside of the function called router like so. We just need to convert this into a simple variable that we can use, router like this. So this will be router dot, since it's a post request, it will be router forward slash API API version 1 forward slash accounts forward slash create user. This is the standard, and we need that here like that. So whenever we come to this route, API forward slash API v1 forward slash account forward slash create account, what it will do is that it will note this route and it will come to this function. So let's quickly run to Postman. I've been having serious issues with my Postman lately. I need to take out some of this workspace I ain't using, man. Slowing my stuff down. Okay, so here is our Postman. I wish I can leave this workspace. So we need a new one. So new collection blank. So let's call this EJS wallet. And to increase yeah. So let's start. So now we have this guy here as collection. Next we need to do is create a folder, and the folder will be called let's call it account, and let's call that account. The first request which just set up is the post request. I need to change this to post. Then our URL for our app is on port 3000, so it will be https:/localhost. Localhost is the default address to your local PC. So localhost 3000. So we'll go to API -v1 create account, which is this guy here. Alright, so let's try that. Okay, so there are some screams coming from our app telling us that we didn't do something right, and yes, we didn't. So the thing is, we have made this v1 module, but we have not exported it out. Okay, so let's do that quickly. First thing first, I would like to take this out and export default router, and instead of my index.tx, I will create that middleware and say, hey, whenever you have something pointing to this route, I want you to go to my v1. And let's see. So this is supposed to be router, and I will do v1 router. So I'll just paste this like this, come here, and I'll do v1 router. So anything going to version 1 will simply pass to there. I think they should work. Let's try this one more time. Okay, HTTPS, that's actually the main thing, so I think that's wrong, but let's try this now. It should work, and pass this. So it says 404 not found. So this is API. So this is API version 1. Go into accounts, create accounts, which is a post. Let's try this again. Okay, everyone there. Okay. Still not found. So it's saying post request not found. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so this is it. Let's see. Yes, after the stream with them. Yeah, just drop location. We'll come drink Gary. Alright, so where am I heading to now? I need to be very sure I am importing this thing properly. Okay. Alright, and I guess I did that right. So app.use. Where did I get this wrong? It's saying post not found for /v1. Wow. API v1. Okay. Spelling accounts. So it is accounts. So it's accounts. So we do accounts, and I'll try this now. Okay, Let's see, still same error. Let me just copy this exactly as it is. Let's see how we can eradicate the boogeyman. Okay, still same errors. Let's check over here. API v1. Or is it because I'm not putting this /? I don't think that's the issue, but let's try that. Okay, that's it. I think that should be it. Yeah, let's see. So it's coming up, and let's try this now. Still the same error. What is happening here? So let's do a test, and we'll do something like this. But instead, what we'll do is create account. We'll throw this right here. Localhost 333. That's the same thing. So let's try the root directory, like so. So that worked. So let's see where we are getting this wrong now. Is it a /? Because I know that. Okay, let's see. Go here. Nope. Come here. Let's put that / here. So it's API v1 accounts. Create account. Let's try this again. Okay, so I don't know what I missed, but I think this works now. So we can just rename this to create account. So for our create account, what exactly are we going to? So let's put in something in our body. Set this to raw. Set this to JSON. Like this. We do our first name, and we do John. So basically what we just configured is whatever we are sending is what we are receiving back. John do. So save this and send this. Okay, so you can clearly see that there is basically nothing coming back. That's because there were some configurations that we did not set up in our Express application that is making that not work. And it's very simple. So you set up a middleware right before. Let me take this out. I think I'll leave that. So let me set it up here. So what you need is that middleware that will be responsible for passing anything that has to do with JSON and make it available for you. So that will be Express, and that's is it? Yeah, that's is it Express? Yeah, app.json. Or is it in Express? Let's see. I might be doing this wrong. So it's actually Express dot, and that's the function. No, that's the JSON. Yes. So yeah. So I think that's it. So let's wait for it to save, and she is live. So let's try this now. You can now see that our data comes. So now we can now actually mess with this and see how we can be able to save this on our system. Alright, so for our models, I told you that this folder was important, so let's bring it to life now. Okay, so what are we doing here? The first thing we need to do is create a layer from so we are just doing like this. It's not redundant, because what we'll end up doing at the end of the day is to be able to detach the Prisma and make use of direct Postgres query. Alright, so that should be constant. No, not constant. So what I will do is I will create an object. I will call that user in this case. So that will be const user is equal to, so the very first query that will be important right now is the add. So let's see, let's